They are allowed to work certain areas, and we were to be transferred to another taxi for the completion of the trip. The driver could speak no English, so we had to trust our friends one more time, as we had one more pickup to make. Usually we changed taxis several times and never told anyone anything, but the area was the most dangerous for us to be in on our own. We told them we needed to pick up a friend's luggage and where it was. There was a lot of loud arguing and we didn't know what was happening, so we prayed and we prayed some more. It seemed it was in a restricted area and taxis were not allowed there. I told them my father would be disappointed if I didn't get the luggage. Fathers, they are held in high esteem in China. So reluctantly, the driver agreed. A slight problem arose when they wouldn't let us load the luggage. A slight problem arose when they wouldn't let us load the luggage again. And we had a red, white, and blue Chinese bag strapped to a cart, 2 backpacks, and a suitcase. They weighed from about 60 to 75 pounds each. The men were looking funny and they were getting loud again. We knew they were discussing the weight. We prayed and they loaded them and we got in the taxi. When our friend surprised us by getting in too. We drove in 15 or 20 minutes to the outskirts of town. All they would tell us was to trust them. We stopped and they pointed for Linda to get out, and in another cab, it was to stay. I was to stay. They loaded the Bibles in the other cab and would not talk to us. We weren't feeling comfortable about being separated, but we had no choice except we prayed. Our taxi friends went with us, and we drove another 15 minutes or so. I realized we were circling, but they would only shake their head when I tried to question them. We went outside town to an area like a junkyard. I was put out with my friend, and then they drove off. He motioned to follow and to be quiet, but I refused until he talked to me. And he grabbed my arm and said, "Trust," and we took off running. We climbed over junk and into a big ditch where we met the other 2 men. I realized then that they had hid the taxi and it was dangerous for us. I had been to this pickup point before, and after walking a while, I saw a sign that I recognized and knew there, just about there, I knew where we were. He came behind the building and they shielded me by standing in front while I got the Bibles. I put both large loads in a big Chinese bag I had bought, but I couldn't carry them. The driver tried to pick one handle and pick it up and take it with him. Soldiers were coming down the street and my friends started yelling at each other in distrust to distract them while we took off running. I didn't even get to thank them properly, and they had given us at least 2.5 hours of their time and taken a big risk as well. We did a fast walk, dodging in and out of the stalls along the street, and soldiers would appear. He put me on the inside so he could push me in the stalls out of sight when needed. Several times, the people, realizing we were in danger, would crowd around us to block the soldiers' view. You have to realize that it would have meant jail or prison for any of them if we were caught. I was praying for strength, praying for protection, and the ability to breathe as we both were gasping for air. It was about 100 degrees, and between the heat, the tension, the sweat, the fast walking and dodging people, we had to stop there time and time again for a few seconds. It seemed I couldn't go another step when I saw the cross, and I saw the area where we had left Linda. I think I even praised the Lord out loud. The driver quickly loaded the Bibles, and I only had time to say thank you in Chinese and put a 10 in his hand. He refused, but I put it in his packet. He smiled for the first time, nodded, and took off running as fast as he could go. That is only $3.50 in American money, but fast as we could go, it was all I had in my pocket, and I didn't have time to get more from my purse. I never even knew his name, but I know he was used by the Lord. I often pray for all three of these men and know the Lord will bless each of them. They gave their time and risked their lives for success they didn't even know. I believe all three of them knew what we were doing from the very start. Why would two white women be hiding except for dope or Bibles? They knew from the weight that it couldn't be dope. Linda had a worse time than I because she had to wait all that time, not knowing if they had turned me in or if I had been arrested. She wouldn't show fear or concern, so she sat calmly, prayed and sang praise songs. The driver got tired of waiting and started to leave. He spoke no English, so she shook her head and threatened him with the tone of her voice. The last time he was going to leave anyway, so she prayed, Lord, stop him. A Chinese man called out to him, came over and gave him a bought cigarette, very valuable in China, and chatted while they smoked. Just as they finished, we came around the corner. God works in mysterious ways sometimes. We were very thankful to be together again and on our way at last to deliver the Bibles. The 2 to 2.5 hour trip turned into 5 hours and 20 minutes as God was not through showing us his power. This will have to wait until my next letter, which I hope to get to you in about 2 weeks. May the Lord bless you, keep you healthy and safe. As you know, my prayers are always with you, your sister in Christ, Madine. Lord, did you see what you just did? And the completion of letter written January 9th, 1988. Thank you.